What's up, YouTube? Round 3, July of 1937 coming up to you. Right here in the nest, Axis and Allies fans, this is going to be something that you're going to really love. Really excited. Not really excited with Germany, even though I'm an Axis player, but we'll get there. So, Germany is starting off still with 20 IPPs, still supporting Nationalist Spain. They're going to lend-lease a light tank to Nationalist Spain. They're going to pay off the debt on their battleship so they can move to the next staging. And they're going to buy 1 infantry. Now that battleship was 13 IPPs to pay off. So it was kind of a hit to Germany's production base. But it's going to be worth it. And with the limited amount of turns that we're going to have throughout this game, it's really important for our Axis players to make sure that they're staying on top of things and staying on the ball. But there is no combat in Germany, and we're also not going to move anybody in Germany. You'll see where my madness is going with this. Trust me, I question my own sanity. Comment below if you have anything to comment about that. Nationalist Spain is going to go and take back Extremadura from Leon Castile, and they took 2 rounds to do it. Extremadura took 2 hits towards Nationalist Spain. And then Nationalist Spain did end up taking Extremadura back. Nationalist Spain plane that they used, they brought it in from over here in Leon. It returned back there. They rolled for their recruitment. No good, no bueno, no nothing. Got nothing on that. So the placement, they put that light tank right there in Leon Castile, and the infantry got put in West Germany instead. Now we have been putting things over here in Stettin mostly, and then moving some of the subs around in the Atlantic, but just trust me on this. And I know some of you veteran players, you're not going to agree with a lot of things that I'm doing, but my excitement right now, you should just go with it right now. So moving on to Russia, CCP, China, and Republican Spain. Russia is going to start out with their 8 IPPs. They're going to lend-lease 1 of those IPPs over to CCP China. They're going to use that to buy that 1 infantry. Their wounded that they had from the last turn returns to Communist China. And Russia is also going to lend-lease 1 infantry to Republican Spain. Big thing here, big thing. Russia and Japan just signed their non-aggression pact. No more border skirmishes. That's going to take effect here really, this turn, yes, but it's really going to come up when Japan takes their turn. My excitement, just go with it. I promise you, it's like a popcorn ball. It's going to explode here in just a minute. CCP China decided that they're going to go against Sichuan once more. They went through a couple of different rounds. Communist China kind of got their butt kicked on this one. So militia was lost in Sichuan, and Communist China actually took a hit on both of their infantries and their mountaineer. They have 1 left that was wounded, and they saved it on their mountaineer, so they've lost both of those infantry during that. Sichuan took 0, CCP China retreated. They're still sitting in Communist China. That's the way it is. CCP placed their infantry there in Communist China. The light tank went to Leningrad over here in Russia. And Republican Spain infantry ended up here in Murcia. Murcia still has not built up enough power to be offensive, but they still got enough there to sit there and try to defend what they have left. So, huge, super excited. This is why I love being an Axis player. Japan just declared war on China, which means all the railroads are closed. No more lend-lease from Russia to CCP. That's going to hit CCP really hard. I'm super excited, but CCP and KMT have signed a temporary ceasefire so they can join forces against the common enemy of Japan. This is awesome. Political problems that are going to take place with this. It's going to raise global tension. Japan loses 1 IPP for doing this because America starts that oil embargo. They're going to start pulling back on what they're giving to Japan so that they can build their forces up. Euro-Brits, Pac-Brits, and Anzac, they all shoot up 1 IPP. France, with their French Indochina, their interest there, they're going to go up 1 IPP. And America is going to go up 3 IPPs for this because of their Pacific interests. Wake Island and Hawaii and the Philippines, all of those areas. So those are things that are really important to keep in mind. This is all in the rule book, so if you get lost in any of this, you can go back. Also, I'm working on building up a website. I'm going to build transcripts of all of our steps that we've taken place. You'll be able to download it. We'll let you know when that comes up. Japan's going to take 5 and put it on the debt of their cruiser and pay that, get that one done. The 1 artillery and 2 infantry that they buy. Manchuria picked up a Kwangtung army and a militia. And in this, we're also going to have their first amphibious attack. House rule here in the nest. With the past experiences and history, that knowledge that we have, transports are able to load and offload and then move again if they are within their turn. Now, that means if a transport has moved 2 spaces and it's only got a 2-space move limit, it has to stop. But if it's only moved 1, it can retreat and go back the other way. There's no sense in a boat sitting there that doesn't have anything on it. And historically, transports would offload and take off to go pick up the next load right then and there, just so they wouldn't waste fuel. That is something important to remember. Now, we put all 4 of our Marines on a transport, 2 artilleries on the transport, and our mobile hospital. We went to Henan and had a nice little naval battle that was coming out of there. And from there we had a couple of different things that happened. We had some planes that came in to help out with this. We had 2 fighters and 2 tacticals come in from Korea, and 1 fighter off the carrier off the coast of Henan up against 1 single militia from China. Yeah, it sounds like a lot, maybe some overkill, but that's okay because we have seen the roll of the dice where we've actually looked at it when maybe we should try to re-roll that. But this is what happened. Now, keep in mind that KMT and the torpedo boat and Japan and their cruiser and coastal sub went at it first because naval battle has to be solved first. KMT torpedo boat totally missed. The cruiser, or the coastal sub, excuse me, smacked that torpedo boat. Naval battle is over. So we're going to continue with our amphibious landing. With this particular set of rules, an amphibious landing, any type of infantry style unit must land first. These are your Marines, your Mountaineers, your infantry, and your airborne. Our case, we've got 4 sets of Marines. Those sets of boots have to be on that land first no matter what. And in order to be able to land anything else, you've got to make sure that at least 1 of those sets of boots is still sitting on the land. So like the other games, when you want to go take a particular country or section of a country, you know that an infantry unit must be on there in order to maintain that land and keep those IPP points. Now, as you can see, we have this going on here. With the Marines that went in there, we also committed them to a bonsai attack, which meant there was no backing out. Remember, this is new for this game. One of the things that we have taken into account with our game here, bonsai, it's complete committed. They cannot retreat. They cannot hold back. They must go full force until they're all dead or they take it on. The Marines took 2 hits, wiped out that militia. Japan took Henan, and KMT really just didn't stand a chance. They could have, but the roll of the dice didn't work. They actually rolled a 12, and that just didn't happen for them. So Japan goes up 2 IPP, KMT goes down 2 IPP. Japan continues to land the rest of their amphibious landing, which was the 2 artillery and the hospital in Henan. This is going to be beneficial to Japan when they start taking on wounded as they attack the rest of Japan. Now, these lighter green units here, okay, these are warlords. They are not actually members of KMT or CCP China whatsoever. They are separate and segregated from the Chinese territories. Warlords have to be attacked directly before they can actually turn over to a Chinese territory and be a support system for them. That is something else to keep in mind. So Manchuria is still sitting here nice and pretty. All of their stuff in Jahol, that's up here, but not directly attacking the warlords. You're just kind of sitting on the border and making the warlords a little nervous. Our non-combat move, our fighter went back to its carrier. Our planes went back to Korea. So we have our little block here. So we have these planes here along with an infantry that was sitting in Korea. Everything in West Manchuria moved to Johor, and for placement, all of the Japan pieces that we bought went to Tokyo. Manchuria, our militia went to West Manchuria, and our Kwangtung army stacked up here in Johor as well. Okay guys, so super excited. So now America is starting to get their tensions up. Japan has declared war. Friggin' stoked about this because there's so much that's going to start happening. Keep in touch, keep in line, comment below. I question my own sanity. You should too. Like it, live it, love it. We'll see you on the next round. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm still super excited because I'm Japanese troops and we've declared war in China. But super important, Allies players, this is for you right here on our production board. Staging. So we got this thing where Britain and America are starting to move ships. Germany has paid off one of theirs. This is really important for you guys because next turn these come out. So it's your placement choice, but make sure it's important and make sure it's where it's going to count the most. So we'll get to that here in just a few minutes. Right now, we're going to head over to Euro-Brits. Right over here in Euro-Brits, we had 11 points of IPP that we could spend. We used three to move that light carrier down the production line, 1 infantry and 1 artillery, and then we paid another 1 on the debt on the cruiser that's on our production line too. Our non-combat moves for that, Rhodesia, down here. We moved that artillery up to Tanganyika. South Africa went up to Rhodesia. The transport to London came up and got an infantry and then moved back to Spain right here. The transport in Gibraltar moved over here to Egypt and dropped off its load, and it's starting to head back right here. And then our transport, other transport that was heading over here in Gibraltar is now sitting up here by London. We had our placement of artillery in London, and the other infantry that we bought is now down in South Africa Union. On to our pack Brits over here in India. 1 infantry and 1 militia. They moved their infantry over to Burma Road, and their infantry that they bought dropped in Calcutta. Their militia they bought dropped in Bengal. Anzac, still only able to buy 1 infantry at the time, dropped it off in Sydney. The transport that was sitting on the Horn of Africa is offloading their motorized and their artillery over here in Egypt to give them a little bunch. So now we've got our block here in Egypt. So all of our stuff is right there that goes in that little bitty block. Off to France. France decided that they were going to take all of their IPPs of 5 at the time and put it towards their battleship, bringing them down. They've only got 1 more left before they can start moving it up the line. Now, very important, guys, all of you Allies players out there, very important, it's super important to get France's ships off the production line, because if France falls to Germany and there's still ships on this line, those become German ships. That means they're mine, and I don't mind. I'll take your extra ships, but whatever, it's your choice. So try to get those ships off that line if you don't want them to fall in people like mine's hands. I'm insane. This is the way this works, but I'm okay with that. So, on to Italy. Italy, 7 IPPs. They had to buy 1 infantry that they lend-leased to Spain and dropped it off here in Leon Castile. And they put 4 on the deck of their battleship, also no movement. The US and KMT China, they put 4 to move their carrier, and then 2 more on their deck of their cruiser here, bringing them down to a total of 6 left to move that one. Still no move, no attack. KMT China bought 1 more Mountaineer and 1 more militia. The Hawaii transport that was sitting over here in the here on the islands is now over here, joined up with the fleet in San Francisco. Militia is moved to Sichuan, and the Mountaineer was placed in Hunan. Alright guys, so super excited, lots of stuff is going to happen. Germany's going to start taking on some different roles in the next round. Super happy about that. We're going to start bringing Austria into the play. Lots more to come. Keep around, stick around. Like it, live it, love it. If you like what you're seeing, comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you on the next round. Have a good night.